Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shamika and this is Check the Rhymes. I am super excited that you're here. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. Y'all, I'm super excited about today's show because we are talking about a new National Geographic documentary that is now streaming on Disney Plus. It's called Fire of Love. And you may have heard about it because it did wonders at Sundance. Everybody was talking about it, all the trade magazines, social media, and it's been in some select theaters. But anyway, in the house today, I have award-winning filmmaker Sara Dosa. So she's gonna talk about what the film is about and more. So stay tuned. You definitely don't want to miss today's show. Hi, Sara. Welcome to Check the Rhymes. How are you?
I am good, thanks. Thanks so much for having me on.
I am super excited about this. I've read so much about Fire of Love, but for those that don't know, can you tell us a little bit about what it is about?
Sure. So Fire of Love tells the story of French volcanologists Katia and Maurice Krafft, who met as university students in France in the late 60s. They really bonded over their shared and very rare passion for volcanoes. The two of them decided to travel the world trying to understand this, mysterious and powerful force by documenting eruptions that brought them up close to some of the most dangerous forces on the planet. And tragically, they lost their lives in 1991, but they left behind quite a rich legacy of hundreds of hours of footage, of nearly 20 books, and memories, and their loved ones and collaborators. So we use their footage and their words to tell the story of their life and their work and their love for each other, as well as their planet, and in our film, Fire of Love.
How did you find out about this to even get involved? Because, I know that I probably wouldn't have even, and I'm not a filmmaker, but I probably wouldn't have even thought about something like a powerful story, literally a powerful story like this. How did you even find out about it?
Yeah, so my team and I first learned about Katia and Maurice when we were doing research on the last film that we made. That's a film entitled The Seer and the Unseen, and it takes place in Iceland. Iceland is a volcanic island, and we needed some old images of erupting volcanoes for one of the scenes, and so we started doing research on erupting volcano footage in Iceland in the 70s, and that's when we stumbled across Katia and Maurice Krafft. Very few people had filmed erupting volcanoes, but they had, and their images were particularly beautiful, just so powerful. But it was really once we learned that they were in love with each other and in love with the Earth that we thought, wow, they seem like great characters, like people we would like to get to know. And so that's really kind of what kicked off wanting to make the film.
Well, I really love that you also captured their love story, not just for the love of their volcanoes, but their actual love story. And I'm sure you had to get a bit creative to capture that, because I'm sure the footage that you had, I'm sure it wasn't blatant, obvious, mushy romanticism stuff, right?
Yeah, it definitely wasn't that at all. There was no footage of them kissing, holding hands, going on dates. None of the images that you would expect would typically make up a love story. But that was actually so true to who Katia and Maurice were as people. They were just so in love with volcanoes that that's what they just trained their cameras on. It was always on the phenomenon of volcanism. So for us, we thought, it was very challenging. Oh no, how do we tell them? Right. But we realized that by using volcanic imagery, that could express the power and the magic of their love, perhaps than any image of someone holding hands ever could. So very hard at first, but that really became a fun exercise for us to kind of stretch our imagination and how to use volcanoes as, a love language, so to speak.
Now you had, I think I read that you had over 200 hours of footage. So how did you decide what to use for the film? Because and what does that process look like, combing through all that?
Yeah, so luckily I had a wonderful team that I was working with. Two phenomenal editors named Aaron Casper and Jocelyn Chaput, and my producers, Shane Boris and Ina Fitchman. We really kind of together worked to figure out the right lens to tell the film. And again, that was really a love story. So using imagery that kind of, could communicate the whimsy, dreaminess, feelings like that of falling in love. But also what it means to encounter what you don't expect, the more sinister side of things. I think so many people kind of understand what it can feel like to feel betrayed by a lover. how horrible and shocking that can be. And for Katia and Maurice, they didn't betray each other, but they did feel betrayed by volcanoes. They encountered devastating tragedies along their journey, their quest for understanding. And so that was really important to us, to really show kind of the creative side of volcanoes, how they literally make the world, but also they can take life. So I'll just say these things really factored in how we made our choices, and just communicating a story of really the power of the earth in that way. Okay,
yeah, that, wow, it's just, I cannot wait to watch this, but I've seen so many amazing reviews, and so I wondered, like, did you expect everyone to literally just fall in love with this film?
We had no idea really what to expect. My team and I, we were just, working the hardest we could, just having a lot of fun. It was extremely challenging work, but it was such a collaborative process, and we took kind of solace and joy in each other, and just really tried to make a film that kind of spoke to the themes that we were hoping to explore. Not really knowing what to expect down the road, but we were very happy to be met with the reviews that we received, and to now be showing the film all around the world theatrically, and today we're releasing it on Disney Plus. So that's an added, really fun thing for us.
Yeah. So what do you hope that viewers that haven't seen it yet, that plan to watch this weekend or whenever they get a chance on Disney Plus, what do you hope viewers take away from it?
I hope viewers will really feel like the utter sentience, of nature, just how alive and interconnected all things on our planet really are. But I hope also through Katia and Maurice's personal stories, people will see an example of what it means to live a deeply meaningful life. Katia and Maurice, the proximity to danger that they were always within, that taught them what was most important to them. They had to live their days with love. For them, they loved each other, they loved volcanoes. That's really what they prioritized, and I find that just endlessly inspiring. And so I hope, even if audience members aren't about to go to the edge of a erupting crater themselves, I hope they'll think about really what guides their own lives, prioritizing love, whatever that might be, whether it's a person, whether it's a volcano, whether it's a tree or a rock, whatever it could be. So those are just some of the things.
I love that. Well, I want to thank you again for joining me today on Check the Rhymes. Fire of Love is exclusively on Disney Plus starting today, and it's showing nationwide as well. So thank you so much, Sara. I've really enjoyed this conversation.
Oh, thank you so much, Mika, for having me. This was a lot of fun.